Hey, I think we're live. It says you are live. What's up, everybody? Check it out. I got Brian with me this time. That's kind of cool, huh? I'm trying to stall so that the other side on YouTube will start streaming, and then I can hit mute. Dun dun dun. Say something, Brian. Say hello.
Hello, everyone.
Peace.
How are we all doing?
We're keeping it shrimple, Brian. How are you?
I am well. Just get my glasses polished up here. We're playing hooky today because the snow is so bad outside. We got our little snowstorm here, and so we're gonna stay home so we don't risk getting our vehicle destroyed or getting in an accident and driving so far. So yeah, we're staying home today.
Well,
and doing tank stuff that we haven't done in so long.
I've been doing that for the past 4 days in preparation for the big storm that's coming through.
Yeah, I haven't done it at all in preparation for my job. Yeah, so I haven't been able to do anything. And then they said we had a big storm coming in. It's not as bad as, we're not going to get like 18 inches and stuff. But they're saying because we got like 4 inches now, the roads are real nasty and it's going below freezing, I guess. But it's they said for the rest of the night because the snow slowed up and now it's starting back up again. My wife said so we're supposed to get another 2 to 3 inches. So they said 5 to 8 inches by midnight tonight. And then whatever we get tomorrow, well, tomorrow won't be as bad because the trucks will have gone through and put salt down and hopefully travel will be better. But I didn't want to drive tonight, and because it's when everyone gets in accidents and crashes cars. And I just didn't want to be a part of that. So we are home doing tank stuff.
Home doing tank stuff.
Yeah. And we were so excited to be able to come on here.
Did I type AT&T? That's supposed to say Matt. Oops.
Hey, what is up, At?
What's going on, if you're still here? He said he might have to miss most of it. Hey, John. SC Catahulas. Gnarly Fish Tanks. Paul McCarthy. Aqua Balls. What's up, guy? Don Gallagher. Myrick. And who else? That's it so far. Everybody's popping in or lurking.
Lurking and jerking.
So I did a thing on my thumbnail that hopefully you saw, Brian, about kind of covering the topic of the best mosses for shrimp.
Yes, sir.
And that's kind of misleading. I'll have to admit that is kind of misleading because it's most likely going to turn into our favorite mosses for shrimp talk versus the best moss for shrimp.
No, why is that?
Just because my favorite mosses happen to be the two that were pictured on the thumbnails.
And it's arguably, I don't know, kind of correct because, there's quite a few mosses. So it's like, what's the best moss? I guess if a shrimp could tell us, we would actually know.
Yes.
But since we're unable, it would be more of a guess on, but it's kind of the ones that they seem to enjoy the most, maybe. But yes, I do agree. But so if those two are your favorite, is there a reason why?
Probably for me, the hooker moss is my favorite because I just love the way it looks. And because it is such a rare moss and hard to come by, I like having it. I like seeing the shrimp. I think the surface area that the leaves and the fronds provide is just outstanding. And because it is more of a soft water moss, does better in the lower pHs and soft water, that it's a good indicator of your tank conditions. So I have it in 2 tanks that are side by side. In one tank, it's growing really well. In the other one, it's a little less thick on the fronds and a little bit opaque. So I know there's a nutrient difference in the 2 tanks. And for me, I need that kind of visual reference, if that makes sense.
Sure, everything makes sense. Well, no, I mean, it's so actually it comes down to, like, for you, well, one, you did say the leaf or the blade on it, or how it grows, but the second is your preference on what you like to see.
Correct. And the same thing goes with the Subwassertang. Oh, you froze. It's a good thing you weren't looking at the camera making funny Shanna faces.
Yeah, I don't do that much.
But the Subwassertang, that's another one that, even when I first discovered it several years ago and started playing with it, trying to understand it, grow it, propagate it, use it, just different things. I think the way that the surface area that it creates with the way that it grows, and that it has the flat surface, on both sides, that's a lot of biofilm that can accumulate, and the shrimp seem to love it. And it looks really cool.
It holds a lot. I noticed that it holds a lot of stuff. Other than growing biofilm, it holds stuff within the body of it, So, like, when you go to move it, I mean, not saying that it's all good, but when you go to move it, it's full of everything, So, extra food, I should say excess food, all sorts of stuff is within that Subwassertang. So,
yeah, moss does love soft water.
Subwassertang doesn't remind me of Easter grass. It reminds me of a brain. It does. If you look at it, and then you look at a brain, if you're standing away from it, it's kind of got designs like that. So that's why I always think it's like one of the smarter mosses, because it looks like a brain.
Well, before we go further into talking about it, and I have a little short video clip showing a bunch of different mosses, mainly Subwassertang and hooker moss, or Hookeriaceae, if that's the proper way. Hookeriaceae. It's spelled funny. It's hard to spell. I have to reference it every time because it's really hard to spell.
Yeah, it's kind of like saying licorice. It's when you look at it, you look Hookeriaceae.
Yeah.
What? Okay.
But it always reminded me of Easter grass too, kind of. I mean, it depends. Some of it grows really stringy and long, thin fingers, and then some of it's real short fingers and more bushy like. So, like I said, it depends on where it's growing, the light, the nutrients, and I think I notice it grows differently when I wrap it around spiderwood and driftwoods and stuff like that, but I really like the way it looks. It bushes up nicely. Let's see. Yeah, hit that like button, please. I know I shouldn't beg for likes, but it does help the channel out. It does help the stream out, and puts us in the algorithm thingy that YouTube's got going on, so that more people get exposed to Keeping It Shrimple and Papa Shrimp and Brian from Motor City Aquatics. He's got his glasses on, so I think he's reading his phone right now.
It's just my work there. I have to text him.
I was going to say, you have a particularly nice hairline tonight.
Like that?
Have you been to the salon?
No, that's bedhead.
All I just got mine up in a ponytail, so I make it easy. Get it out of my face. So yeah, anyways, when it comes to the different mosses, I do have a little video that I'm going to share, and I'm hoping more people jump in before I start showing it. And what's up, Peplin? But you know, we get more people in here before I start showing that video and talking about these different mosses. Now, I also have what I have talked about in several streams is a mystery moss. I don't know if it's peacock moss or Christmas moss. I don't know which one it is, but it's in the video and it's on my DIY moss tree. I'm trying to be all serious, and you're over there effing around.
Yeah, I was wondering if you had noticed it. So it's kind of funny.
Hey, Monster Fish Gal, how you doing?
Oh shit!
Oh man, too funny, too funny. I'm already tearing up, and we barely got started. What's wrong with you, man? Hey, Timbo, taking it easy. Only mosses I have are Java and Flame. Yeah, and I started off, of course, with Java moss, and then I got Flame moss, and you know, there's a time where I had all different kinds of mosses: Christmas moss, spiky moss. I really like. Shoot, what's it called? I forget. I got it from LRB in Florida last year. Willow moss. I like that. That's a pretty cool looking moss. But lately, my favorites have become hooker moss and Subwassertang, mainly because, like I said, for me, it's a visual. It's a visual cue on how my tank is doing, judging by how the plant is doing, or the moss, or you know, I guess Subwassertang is more of a fern. It's right considered in the fern family, not the moss families.
Oh, don't even go there! Holy heck!
Well, I had to do a little research.
You'll have everyone and their mothers saying it's this, it's that, it's
why not? That's what
scientifically.
we need to talk about. We need to get it out, man. The truth has to come out.
There's nothing to get out. I don't even know if they came up with a classification for it. And if they did, you know, there's so many different. One person says this, one person says this. I think we just keep calling it a moss and just leave it at that. Make it easy.
I'm reading the comments. See, there we go. PNW Aqua. Yes, Subwassertang is a fern. That is one cell thick. Yes. And I believe that the version that we all have, the only thing they can come up with it is the male version of the plant. That's why it self-propagates. But who knows? I mean, they said it's like old, like really old stuff. Been around for eons, longer than us. So who knows? But it's really cool. And it's kind of rare. I mean, not really. Everybody has it somewhere. But it's kind of rare because it's a slow grower. And it doesn't do well in all waters. It grows differently in hard water than it does in soft water. I think all mosses do. Don't you think, Brian?
Yeah, I think some are I don't want to say built more for sorry, I had to fix that filter real fast. It was making a lot of noise. I didn't want it coming through. Yes, they're because of where they come from. You know, like I tried putting Bucephalandra in tap water. It goes in there, but it seems like it becomes like it loses a lot of its strength. And then the leaves seem to fall off easy and stuff like that. So we literally took, I believe we took it all out. Yeah. took all the boost out. And
3G,
we put it
what's up?
back into
Daniel Velez.
Oh, we put it back into the other tanks to get it back to where it was. But it was just, it was a test, just see how it did. And it doesn't do nowhere near as well as it does in soft water. But, I mean, that's my water. But, yeah, I have, different types of mosses. And it seems like Christmas and, a bunch of types like that. They do okay. They do okay in caridina parameters, but if you put them in tap water, they're a lot better. They seem to grow. They seem to grow bigger like this. In soft water, they'll collapse down and they'll grow and they'll be a low grower, like let's say 2 inches. Compared to if you grow it in tap water, it'll take over the whole tank. It becomes very strong in tap water, but very weak in.
You think the minerals in the tap water, the KH especially, do you think that helps?
Well, yeah, I think it all plays a part with certain types. Yeah, but I've had it like this. My Galaxy Fishbone tank over here, I have a moss in it that's not Subwassertang or the other one, the Hooker moss. I'm not exactly sure if it's weeping or what, but it used to be huge, and then it just settled down over time. So it's about 3 inches. It just grows in masses, it's like 3 inches from the substrate up, and it stays really low. It doesn't grow high anymore. Now, if I put it in a tap water tank, it would revert to the way it was. But I notice also if I reach my hand in there and go to pull it out, it's like it's not there. It's so soft, it'll just break into so many pieces, So it struggles and does its best. And so that's why I kind of switched over to certain types of mosses in certain tanks. So my caridina get a certain one, and my neocaridina get a certain one, so they do their best,
Well, what do you think about when it comes to trimming your mosses? Are you a believer, or do you just let it grow as long as it likes, or however it likes?
I don't trim nothing. I let it grow till it's too much, and then that's when I cut back. Only reason is because it's kind of it's a babysitter. It helps feed the shrimp. It enables me to go 2-3 days in between feeding, knowing that they're getting incredible nutrients out of all that stuff that's in there. If I let it overgrow, compared to if you keep it small. Now, if you have a very small amount of shrimp or anything in the tank that feeds like that, then you don't need that much. But if you got 100, let's say 50 plus shrimp, you want them to be able to graze freely so they don't have to be on top of each other eating all day, that they could be everywhere, and they can get full, right. So that's, okay.
I don't. So from a different perspective, like, let's say, like any of your other plants that you have in your tank, right? If you have water sprite, wisteria, anything, and you go and you start trimming your plants and it grows, it spreads, breaks from one stem into two, and then you trim those and they break into 2 or 3. And the next thing you know, you can basically shape it.
Yeah, it's kind of like what you do with weed.
Right. But
right.
You
top it. It's called topping.
So if you do the same thing, what I'm saying is that I noticed that when if I wrap Subwassertang around some spiderwood and it starts to grow bushy, and then I go and I trim it and take all of the pieces and everything and put them in another tank, propagate it, let it spread. And then the way it grows, it seems to grow faster and more full, and it just starts taking on a shape. And I've noticed it with Java fern that when you don't trim it, it comes long and stringy. But when you start trimming it and letting it fall on itself and trim it, let it fall on itself, the way that it grows, it splits off into more smaller fronds, I guess. And it kind of looks cooler than just straight
Runners,
stringy moss. Yeah.
runners are what, saplings, like a
Yeah.
tree,
Or
how
whatever,
they come up. Yeah,
It starts going more like Christmas moss shape instead of
yeah,
just a straight, thing of moss with a couple of little fingers every once in a while.
yeah. Because well, that, I mean, you learn that kind of in horticulture when people do plants and stuff. That's why people that know about plants do so well selling them and making them look so good, because just like with anything, but here's a good one with Anubias. An Anubias plant, or even like Boost, when it starts to get really long roots, what's happening is it's putting all of its energy into growing those roots. So what you want to do is cut the roots all the way off and leave like a quarter inch, half inch on the bottom, and throw all that root stuff away, because what it's going to do is then it's going to start to put all the energy into the plant instead of the root so much.
Right.
So when you trim it, like you're saying, to scape a tank like that, yeah, you're trimming off all those runners that are like sucking up all the energy, and you're putting the energy back into whatever shape you're trying to grow, tying it up and stuff like that. So when you give it a haircut, more or less, now it's all in. And those ones that actually were stealing all the energy and growing out really far, now they're not sucking it all up. Now it can go to the rest of the plant. Yeah. It's just the way I'm set up, I don't scape anything. I just put it in there. So the more it grows, I can, it enables me to sell it too. So
no, and that's kind of like, that's why we think of those different things. We think of what we see, but in the end, which is the best for shrimp, do we believe? Now, I wish, like you said before earlier, I wish we could ask the shrimp, hey, what's the best moss for you guys? And they could tell us. But I believe it's Christmas moss. Which is the best moss for shrimp? And that's a toss-up when I have several tanks with different mosses that seem like, as long as there is a moss, that's the number one thing.
I would just say something with the broadest leaf. It's not the biggest moss, it's the biggest leaf, because it, just like anything, it enables an area to grow more biofilms on it and stuff, and to catch, things that are floating within the water column. If it's really small and skinny, then there's chances that, they have to move around more and they're not able to get as much and catch as much. And, so, that's why I, not only do I like Subwassertang, or however you want to say it, but that's just what I see and it's cool to see all those shrimp inside of there just feasting all day, because it's like, wow, they're getting more than what I can give them. I don't have a pill or a food that has is there a biofilm shrimp food? Not that I know of. So if I can give them something natural, then it's good.
There's a question for you. No, you may not. Oh. So let's see. We got 35 people in here. That's pretty good. It's 7:24. Let's take a look at this video that I put together. So here's a good example of you could take a little sliver of Subwassertang or Subwassertang.
Subwassertang.
You could take a little piece, clean piece, put it in your aquarium, let it sit wherever it wants to. That's the best thing that I've kind of thought of or seen is just throw it in the tank, let it settle where it wants to, and it'll go from there.
Then what do you do after it settles where it wants to?
Sometimes I might tuck it in. Sometimes I'll just leave it alone. It
Just
really
leave
depends.
it alone.
Yep. So here's a little
mind
piece
of its own. That's why it's smart.
I put that in the tank, and that's where it decided to settle. So, okay, cool, because it's in the front, and all the shrimp will be gathering on it. There's a little piece of some Philosophies moss.
Oh, that's like what I got, yeah.
And then there's that mystery moss that I don't know if it's Christmas moss or peacock moss or what it is.
Looks like brown.
But I got that in several tanks, and it seems to grow better on the trees.
Closer to the light?
Yeah. Here's the Subwassertang tree that I have, and I haven't trimmed it in a while, but I threw in a couple of fronds of this moss, which I don't know what it is. I got it from Michael Esposito in Florida last year.
Kind of looks like the same thing.
I don't know what it is. It's different. It's more stringy and leafy, but it's I don't know. I didn't ask.
I want to say it starts with a P. God, I can't think of the name.
Pelia moss or whatever.
Yeah. It means like a miniature, like a leaf. I can't remember the name of it. Yeah.
But I'm letting that grow. And then, of course, here's some more of that mystery moss. And it grows different on the bottom than it does on the top.
Oh, I got that stuff. Yeah, I got that stuff.
Here's my extreme blue tank. And I have a mixture of Subwassertang and Java fern and a little hooker moss and just various stuff. I just threw it in there. There were very small pieces, but they've grown.
Pelia moss. Yeah.
And
like a stem plant.
This is why I'm saying that, like Java moss in this example, if you trim it, it'll be more bushy than stringy. And here in this tank, it's very stringy because I just put one little clump at the top of the driftwood and it grew down in long strings. But that's a mixture of Subwassertang and Java moss. You see how stringy it is? There's a good picture of it. And then in the front, I have some hooker moss. But this isn't as thick as the hooker moss in the next tank. So to me, there's a little bit of difference in the nutrients that this moss gets versus in the other tank. And that's what I mean by I use the moss as a visual. Here is some hooker moss, and this one it's much thicker. Here's that mystery moss again, and like I said, it grows different up top. Now when I go and trim this, I think it'll get even bushier like the one in the back. The shrimp love this moss too.
See those stems coming off kind of look like the Christmas moss I got. That's why it looks like a tree.
Yeah.
That's what I'm guessing. I'm no pro. I don't know.
Yeah, look at that hooker moss. That's just beautiful, thick fronds, a lot of surface area.
Yeah, I think the stems look, make it really jump out.
Hey, Poetic Song.
Try to paint that.
Yeah, it is hard to find and it is expensive, but that's what I'm here for. And luckily, I'm local. So if you want some hooker moss, I have plenty. Thanks to Mr. Brian in Detroit. Oh, Motor City Aquatics.
Hey, make a call to your local pimp and he'll hook you up with some hooker moss.
Right?
Yeah. We just sent a bazillion pounds of it to
and it really depends if depending on what happens with this winter storm that's upon us right now. I hope to be there Saturday with some to share with people. Yes, Texas Fish. That's what I plan to be there with a bunch in tow, because I know it's hard to find. That's why I wanted to have some. So after Saturday, I'll put it up on my website as well with whatever I have left over. But at least there, I'll be there. Like I said, if weather permits, I'll be there Saturday with a bunch of hooker moss. I'll be pimping it out.
Allen Tooth.
And some of my PRLs. Hey, what's up, Jeff? Texas Fish Room in the house. Oh, wait. I got to take this off. Take that off. Sponsored shirt-wise by 712 Apparel. Texas Fish Room. He's the man. Get all your merch there. Do it. And then even stickers. Right, Jeff? We can get stickers from you, too. Hopefully, we'll get to chat this weekend in person. Again, weather permitting. We'll see how his stuff goes. Hey, Brookley Bell. What a horrible. Well, I guess it's not a horrible question. Yes, I'm single. You kidding me? You think a woman would let me keep all of these? Unless I had a basement like Brian.
I was going to say, my woman lets me keep mine.
Well, you got a good woman.
Yeah.
That's my problem is, I can't find one that's nerdy enough to tolerate my aquariums yet. Ooh, decals, banners, signs, whatever. We need to talk, brother. We need to get some stuff done. We need to get some branding going. Nice guys are always single. Ain't that the truth? I need to learn how to be a beep. No, I don't want to. I don't want to be like Brian. No, just kidding.
Jenna says, I encourage Steven to get more tanks.
Right? I'm sure.
I don't know.
Again,
I need to be honest. All I hear is Steven. Oh, wait, hold on before I say this. I thought I would hear Steven say, hey, we need a tank, but then his wife says, oh, but then we'd have to move. Oh, no, maybe that's the other way around. She says, get another tank. And they say, oh, but then we have to move this or we have to move this. I know that there's always a thing there. One of them wants tanks and the other one says, well, we'd have to move furniture and we don't have room. But I thought it was Steven that always wanted more tanks. So Jenna might be pulling our leg right now.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I may be, but I don't think so. It being so close to Aquashella here in Dallas.
When is it?
In July, like mid-July.
Oh, I don't know. It's I don't know.
No, I'm 52. Not 46. I know, I look young. Woohoo! 50s are the new 40s.
I hope so.
Well, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. But anyways, yes, it could be better than so many other addictions having too many tanks. And honestly, that's what's kind of kept me sane. My shrimp, my tanks, my plants, mosses, just having all of this has kept my mind at peace. And with everything that this world and I have been through and everybody else, and I can just crawl in this hole and I'll be happy. Turn off TV, turn off everything else, and just sit in the fish room and play with my fish and shrimp. Calgon, take it away.
Yeah, I see it, Jenna. I see it. Yeah, I always laugh when you guys have your little funny. I mean, it's not arguments. It's just one says one thing, the other says, "Well, we'll have to move this," and Steven always says, "Well, we can put it on this wall," and well, then we'll have to get rid of everything. It's funny, but they always say we got to get a bigger place. And then it's funny because it's like Steven spends more money on his computer system and his streaming system, but it's like you need to get Jenna a bigger house. That's all I'm saying. I mean, we need to support Jenna.
Yep, that's right. It's all about Jenna P.
Yeah.
Stephen P gets too much attention.
He does. He
Yeah.
pampers himself, but I don't see his wife getting the pampering. I'm just saying. He puts you out there, bruh. But Jenna doesn't have a nice chrome microphone that looks like Elvis just sang on it last week.
Yeah, going above 40 gallons is probably not something that I want to do, mainly because I kind of got PTSD at Ohio Fish Rescue when we moved all of those big stands and tanks. I was like, no. And honestly, it was the fact that I had so many little tanks, I guess nano tanks. If you stayed below 20, I mean, everything was 29 gallon, 20 gallon, 10 gallon, 5 gallon. So,
4 gallon, 3 gallon.
No, I didn't have any that small. I think the smallest ones I had were 5 gallons.
I had buckets.
But now I have
measuring
little
stir.
1.5 gallon containers and breeder boxes, and I like the cube tanks. You know,
for a while there, I used to collect the little measuring cups you drink your medicine with, and I used to put little fish in there in the windowsill for little tanks.
I know.
I used to keep bettas in there, just in those little medicine cups.
I'm now that I see how I'm doing pretty good with my clown killifish, I know that I'm going to have a bunch of little containers because I'm going to have a breeding rack of just clown killifish and grow outs, because I definitely I don't know if you've seen the video yet, but I definitely have to get the biggest adolescents out of the tank ASAP.
Oh, of course.
They're taking advantage of the very, very brand new babies that are up in the corners. And in the video that I just did at the very end, he's sitting there so still in the plant, and I thought it was sick. But as soon as I moved the camera away and hit off, I looked up at him, and he just darted up, and I could see there was a baby right there, little bitty tiny thing, and he ate it. And then today,
tiny baby,
I was looking at him, and there was probably a 3-4 day old fry and 1 day old fry that was like a third of the size of the other one, and then the big brother, and they had him trapped, and the big brother went over there and boop, got him real quick, and I'm like, I got to get him out of there. But every time I try to go and get it, he hides. He goes away from his hunting spot.
Kieran Moore says, are either of you selling stuff right now? I can't find you guys through Google. Yep. All day, every day. Punch in MotorCityAquatics.com with a K or papashrimp.com, right?
It's Stock My Tank.
Oh, yeah.
/Papa Shrimp.
It's what? I'm sorry?
StockMyTank.com.
Stock My Tank. There it is. Yeah.
Papa-Shrimp.
Yeah. Yeah, it would sell all day, every day. I only won't send out shrimp on like negative degree days.
Right.
You got to come to my website because somebody just did it all up and it looks so cool. So cool. So you got to come to it. Well, you better put mine up there too, son.
Hey, hold on.
Everybody's got to come see my website. Hey, if nothing else, just to come see how cool it looks.
Yeah, I think I did a pretty good job.
Yes,
I have to pat myself on the back for that one.
Yeah. Oh, look, Steven's in here. It's a sizable cage.
There he is.
Yeah. He sees that. Oh, I was gonna say he sees that we're supporting him, but actually we're not. We're backing his wife. Sorry, Steven.
You're welcome. Yeah, thank you, Lori.
Yeah, cool. What says Jenna? I really need pictures of Stefan and Cage. Stefan. Oh, Steve P. Oh, there's Mr. Patrick Hardy. Hey, you ever get a chance getting a conversation with that gentleman? Holy heck. That guy's got
I'm sure I will one of these days. He's in Houston.
Yeah, he's got stories, of information that, like I told him, I said, there's a lot of people in the world that have, stories from back in the day that no one really knows about, because it was never written in a book. And it has not, I mean, it's nothing negative or government or anything. It's just about people's history. He knows a lot of history. And I told him, I said, if people like him don't get out and tell people about the past and the cool histories that went on, it'll just die and no one will ever remember it. So yeah, I was talking with him for quite a while the other day before I went to work.
That's cool.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, like he was saying, everything's in Dallas, and that would be cool if there was more things going on here in Texas to where like the shrimp clubs or whatever could organize shrimp events in other places besides when Aquashella comes in Dallas, and it would be cool that it's, throughout the state. It's a big state. And I know there's people all over the place. I mean, it takes 4 hours to get to Houston.
I didn't even realize because he's from he's down from like Chubbs and all their area down there, but he was telling me the different walks of life, the type of people that live in Texas, all different. I was like, what? And then he's telling me the areas. We got this type of area, like watery areas, this, that, and the other, all sorts of stuff, instead of it just being like a town or like cattle or oil, that there's more to it than that,
Look at that.
Thank you, Ed.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, that's why I say on my streams, if anyone needs anything done to a website, ask this cat, and he can work on it for you. 4 hours from Houston, 6 hours from San Antonio.
Yeah. Texas is huge, man.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, I mean, you figure, Michigan's not bad. I mean, I see now, look, if somebody said, I'm in the middle of Michigan. So if somebody said, like to come, at the top of the mitt, if you look at Michigan and you go, I mean, that'd take hours to get up there. So, but it's just harder to drive it because, you go up north, the weather is way different than down here. And you're going over bridges, and some places you need to get on a boat to travel across the other side. And
for people who just joined us, I figure they'd want to see some shots of some mosses, since that was the thumbnail, and I don't want to be misleading by not staying on topic.
There you go.
Dun, dun, dun.
We haven't gone to government yet, so
and we won't.
Right. I went to our 1 hour travel the whole state.
Rhode Island. 1 hour travel to the whole state vertically to Texas, where you could drive for 10 hours and still be there. Yep.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, 11 hours to El Paso. Subwassertang.
El Paso.
Yeah,
is that where they make the salsa at?
Probably. No, they probably make it in New York City or something.
Oh, New York City.
That's funny when you look at certain Spanish beers and it's bottled in New York.
Yeah. Well, because the Spaniards moved to New York.
Hey, Geek Boy.
Geek Boy, what up?
Cool. Thanks for joining us, everybody. There's some hooker moss. That one's not as pretty to me as the hooker moss in the next tank, but I've been letting it. I tried to attach it, quote unquote, to the driftwood to see how it would do, and it was just one or two little sprigs. All of that is from pieces that broke off, got stuck on the weird. Got stuck on the weird. Thanks, Fishbrella. But it got stuck on the driftwood and then it split off. Just like all of those pieces in there. Wait, go back. All of these pieces in here. It started with, I had one piece kind of like this that I cut into three pieces, and I planted one here, I planted one here, and I planted one there. And it's turned into all of this just from 3 fronds.
Hey, you know what it kind of looks like when you grow it like that? It looks like cacti.
It looks like cacti. Yeah, there you go.
It does, because it comes up and then they curve out and go up. You know, it looks like cactus that you'd see in like Texas or some hot place, you know.
And then, of course, like I said, I love this moss. It looks like Christmas moss, but it's growing different than the Christmas moss I have in another tank. So I don't know. And the other one I know is for sure Christmas moss. But I mean, look at all the surface area on these plants, and the shrimp have got to be, you know, well fed just from the biofilm on mosses like this.
Well, and also, you know, shrimplets, they're so small, they get in there and they can feel so safe because they're inside something so small, but to them it's so massive, you know, because there could be shrimplets in there, you never see them, you know, because something like that, it's not even that big, but it grows out and stems out like that. And it covers a lot of area. So
right.
That's
and it looks place. like a hedge bush that you would see around your house or something if it's you know, trimmed right.
Yeah, it's and if you look at the leaves, every time you pan close to it, they look like they're almost you know, clear, but they have just enough green in them. When you back up like that, it makes it look green, you know, but when you're really close, they look almost clear.
Yeah,
you know, see through.
Like
I mean, it's
and those close-up shots. Where was the close-up shots?
Yeah, right like there. See, if you look at them top tips, they look almost clear.
Yeah.
But they have just enough color. When you back up, it makes everything look green, you know. Like,
I love the fronds, the dark fronds like
right.
that.
Yeah, it sets it off.
Kind of makes it look creepy.
Yeah.
But a cool creepy. Like I said, it looks like hedge that you would have in front of your house around it. And I'm sure if, you know, you shaped them, they'd grow pretty cool looking.
Yeah, because you can lay it down flat and it'll grow. Like that one piece all the way to the left.
Right here? Yeah.
The stem there, it's like growing more on the left. There's probably 20 pieces growing vertically, you know, and it's leaning over because I think it's getting heavier. But you could just lay it on the substrate and it'll just start to root and, you know, grow up from there. It's,
and when it, like I said, it was only about 1.5 inches long, maybe, and it didn't have all the fronds that are hanging off the side and going up where it split and all that. Now it was just one little frond that I had put in there, and this is how it's naturally growing out.
Yeah, you don't have to do anything to it, but like you're saying, trim it off, and then you have more to plant somewhere else. Trim it off, more to. That's how I started. You know, I bought. They were like, I don't know, 1.5 inch pieces. I think I bought 15 of them for like $25, $25. And that's what I started with. And
what's up, Skipper? I mean, and that's the thing. I really do think is mosses like this, and maybe that's part of the reason why it's so expensive, also because it's kind of rare, but because it is such a good resource for biofilm, and the shrimps can thrive, and you don't have to put much supplement when you have stuff like this in your tank. Supplements being shrimp foods, you know, they can survive. If you leave your tanks alone for a week, you're not going to kill your shrimp because they're starving.
Well, also too, you're you're not putting plant food in for them either.
Right.
That's the biggest thing, is you don't have to worry about buying extra stuff to make these things look so cool. They just do it all on their own. They survive off of what's in the water column.
Yeah. And like I said, to me, this is one of my healthiest tanks, along with the first one over here, just because of all the mosses, Subwassertang, everything. It makes the tank really, really healthy, and the shrimp are thriving. I've got tons of babies in this tank. You can see them up there on the filters. There's tons of them. They're all in that Subwassertang. They're underneath the spots. And the same thing with this tank. There's hundreds of shrimp in there. They're all over inside the bushes and the moss trees that I made. During winter, I watch my female shrimp for water changes. That makes sense. What is it that you observe by watching your female shrimp?
Well, maybe water changes. I mean, there's probably something else, but I mean, it's vague, but maybe sucking the water out. She pays attention to, or they pay attention to when they're pregnant. If they go do water change or water changes, that there could be babies in there. I gotta go put kids to bed. It's a process, but
yeah, I hope everything works out and the weather isn't as bad as they say it's going to be. So,
hey, and Poetic Song, make sure you remind Papa Shrimp that you're on this. Hey, look, anyone that's in this stream right now, if you remind Papa Shrimp that you're in this stream, you'll get a special discount on Hookeriaceae Moss.
What?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, or he might even give you extra. He'll figure it out when you show up. But if you tell him that you are in this stream, he'll hook you up with something.
Yes, I will. Yes, I will. That would be kind of cool.
So if you show up to the show, even just to hang out, if you go over there to go buy something, but you got to buy something. Just showing up, saying you're in the stream could get you a handshake or maybe a hug. But other than that,
right?
Throw them under the bus for the discount. Hey, why not? I mean, it's hey,
yeah,
you do it to me. You do. Hey, aren't you happy of that though? If I put him on front right now, then he's got to do it come the showtime. So
right,
don't worry about it. Go cash in on it. I didn't tell him he'd have to give you money or anything. I just say he'd have to give you something.
Well, send me a bunch of crack sacks, Brian, and I'll give those away.
I don't think I can get them there fast enough.
I know you can't.
There's no way. Order some hooker moss and get 10 free shrimp.
Yeah.
One a year.
$100 worth of hooker moss. Yeah. I'll throw in 10 free shrimp.
Yeah. Of my choice.
Yep.
I'm sorry, but they will be in neocaridina. Wild.
Run as fast as they can away from parenthood after they drop. Yes, blue extremes. Woot woot. Hey, wait, I got to do something. I got to do it only because I worked on it and I worked on it. Well, it only took me about 10 minutes, but tell me what you think. See if it's better than my phone.
Hate it.
I love shrimp. Who else loves shrimp? I love shrimp. Who else loves shrimp?
What do you think?
That was funny. It was even funnier because your face was on it. Well, no, because that was shocking that you did that. Yeah, that was good. It's better than just playing it. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, that's kind of why I did it. So that way I get it from hitting it on my phone, which it didn't really sound good. So I figured I'd just play around. And
I love shrimp. Who else loves shrimp? I love shrimp. Who else loves shrimp?
I figured, why not?
Yeah, that's good. That looks cool.
I gotta have some kind of little doodad, doohickeys. Everybody's got something, a gimmick. That's mine. I love shrimp.
A gimmick? Everybody's got a gimmick?
Yeah,
Oh,
I guess. Right?
sure.
You're no fun, man.
Now I'm trying to think of
Your
what.
gimmick is giving away discounts for other people's stuff.
I mean, I'm just saying. Hey, I'm doing it for OPS, other people's shite. I give away stuff that ain't mine. Ah! Give it to him. Give it to him.
That's a pretty decent response there.
So water changes on the bigger tanks, okay, but all the smaller shrimp tanks get prepped water. And watch the female until they dry.
Dun, dun, dun. That's cool. I like that. Oh, somebody asked me something, and I'm gonna put it up. I think I can.
Oh, okay. I got you, Tropic. I mean,
No.
Fishbrella. Fishbrella Corporation.
I
The
can't.
Umbrella Corporation. The Umbrella Corporation.
So, after all of this, talking for basically an hour about thanks, Papa Shrimp. Thanks, Patrick Hardy.
I love shrimps. I'm Papa Shrimp.
After all this hour discussion, what is the best moss for shrimp? Brian, we're waiting for an answer.
Dun,
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 dun.
dun.
I'll have to get back to you on that one once I have a conversation with my shrimps.
Gotcha. Hooker Moss, we should have a vote. What does everybody else think?
I mean, I do really well with them. I mean, an honest answer, I do really well with them. That's why I keep them both. I don't think I would want to, just have one over the other. So that's why I try to put both in every tank that I have. I just do really well. I mean, the shrimp are happy. They have tons of babies. They continue to breed. And I just, over the years that I've been doing this, I came to the conclusion that mosses in the tank are better than putting a bunch of wood in there. Or I should say, because I have wood in my tanks, but I should say, let me rephrase that. Stuff that breaks down really easy and causes more, stuff in your substrate and stuff, rottedness, like
Right.
leaves and tolia wood and all that. So I switched over. I have wood in there, but it's harder wood, and it takes forever to break down. And they like to snack off of that. But so mosses, boosts, but those two and boosts and some wood. Other than that, it's I try to keep away from stuff that breaks. I mean, yeah, leaves look super cool. I think it'd be cooler if we could get them in rubber. I mean, seriously, get Indian almond leaves in rubber. Oh God, I'm giving away such an excellent idea. How cool would that be to have thin rubber leaves that sink to the bottom, and then it just looked like leaf litter? That'd be pretty cool. But they just seem super happy. They're always full. I put my own food, I put Blue Crown food in there and my own stuff, and they go nuts over it. But I don't have to worry when I skip my 2-3 days in between if they're getting enough nutrition to stay alive.
Well, one of the things I've seen lately, and maybe it's been around for forever and I just never noticed it, but I'm starting to see now that there's like Indian almond leaf extract in a liquid form.
Right. Yeah.
And so
I used to do that.
Isn't that the same thing? Is instead of putting the almond leaf in there,
it's just
put
the
extract?
Yeah, it's just they don't have it's kind of what you're, I mean, they don't get the chance to eat the leaf, which okay, you're losing that. They don't get a chance to eat the biofilm that the leaf creates, so you're losing those two things. But then you get the medicinal effects from it, because they do say that the stuff that comes in leaves, the Indian almond leaves, the alder cone, stuff like that, are good for any bacterial issues, stuff like that. So
Yes.
the shrimp actually, it helps them thrive off of the goodness that's in that stuff. So that's why, like, I used to, how they say, well, boil your leaves before you put them in there if you're afraid that something's on the leaves. Okay, well, I boil them. I boil the crap out of them. Then I put the leaves in the tank and then I keep that liquid. Or I would throw the leaves away and just boil the liquid down, so it wasn't so watery. I'd boil that water off and get it down to the bottom where it was, real thick stuff. And then I'd pour that into a bottle, and then I could just come around with a dropper and put a couple drops in every week, But Fishbella puts, why should I do water changes before my shrimp drop? To me, you shouldn't, because a water change can forward them, get them to molt, and they could kick their eggs off of them, and then the molt could be sitting there with all the eggs, and they could die. So if you know that your shrimp are pregnant, don't do a water change. If you don't know, then, I mean, do what you do. But smaller water changes are always better, only because the temperature, it won't change the temperature as drastic as if you do a bigger one. But I stay away from water changes if I know that the parents are pregnant. I don't do water changes. I just was looking, and I have blue or blue babies, got a bunch of babies everywhere. And all I do now is top offs, unless they have algae in them. And I'm trying to combat that. I'll only take out a gallon, and all the algae, because I've been listening to what's her Oddball Aquatics.
Mm-hmm.
She says, look, just leave the stuff, and over time it'll start to break down. Don't do such large water changes.
See you later, P&W.
30, 25, 30%, 40%. So I just literally leave it, and all I do is water change, or all I do is top offs. Unless the TDS starts to drop, then I'll add my minerals to my tank, and then I'll pump that in. But other than that, I just top off, and all the algae starting to dissipate. So,
No, I agree, because once my tanks are established, quote unquote, they take care of themselves. Whenever, like this tank, all I have is Subwassertang, a piece of Malaysian driftwood, and blue bolts. And like the tank's perfect. There's no algae on the Subwassertang. It used to have algae on it, but the Subwassertang took over, and now it's just pretty much clear, except for it's a little bit cloudy. So I did pull out about a gallon of water and topped it off. And then in my other tanks, I just top them off. I check the TDS and top them off. If I need to add a little remineralizer in the water, I do. But especially lately, now that I have a T on my hot water and cold water, I can adjust the temperature and run it through my RO filter and go directly to my tanks with a little bit of temperature control. So I'm not worried about the temperature swings anymore.
I think the only thing you got to worry about there, running the hot water in with it, is your filters possibly could get clogged faster, because the hot water, I think, is where all the extra stuff comes through. That's why they always say if you can and you're not pressed on that. I mean, it's not a bad thing. It's just I'm
only using it because I have well water that I know is very, very cold coming from the ground.
Right. That's what I'm saying. There's nothing wrong with it. The only thing is instead of getting 6 months out of your filter, you might get 4 months out of it because you're running warm water through it.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Other than that, there's nothing wrong with it at all. See me, now I'm filling up all these tanks, and then what I'll do is when this tank is empty over there that I'm pumping out of, I'll just hook it right back up, let it run for 3 hours, then shut it off, and it's full again. I get about 22 gallons in 3 hours. So I do that, and then it's full, and then it'll sit there for a week. So it warms up. Anything that needs to burn off does, and it is what it is. To either have your own line of shrimp yet? How old would that colony be? I have shrimp that I bred 2 different shrimps together to get orange eyes. I don't know. They're probably 8, 10 months old, somewhere around there. Yeah, I bred an orange-eyed shrimp. It was clear. It had red, so I think it was a fancy red tiger. But that's the thing is if you go to breed orange eyes in with shrimp that have white, it takes the white away. And then you have to breed it back, to get the white to come back. But so I had some shrimp that had the white gone. So I put the orange-eyed one with red in it, which I guessed was a fancy red tiger, but I'm unsure. It might have been a red King Kong. That's probably what it was. And I put it in with my red pintos. It got pregnant. I pulled it out. It had its babies. I put it back in. I did it twice. And I have a pretty big colony, but I don't sell them. They're just for me. Because, what name do I really put to it? Because I'm guessing it was a red King Kong, but I don't know because it didn't have white. So I don't want to say this is what it was and lay claim to something that I don't know. But I do have shrimp that I made myself just by breeding 2 together. And but that's it. I don't really mess around with it much. I enjoy the colors that they are. I enjoy everyone else's hard work. So
and that's a good point. And Jeff, I do the same thing, but again, this is all a temporary setup. So temporary that I'm using the hot and cold water from the washer and dryer connection because there's no washer and dryer in here. And that's, this is supposed to be temporary. So yeah, it's working for now, but I would ideally when I have my big fish room facility breeding stuff, I'm going to have a setup similar to that with tubs. So that way they're indoors and I can bring them to temp and not have to worry about winter water changes as much coming directly from a well outside. Whew, long-winded answer. Okay, well, we've gone past the hour mark, Brian. What do you think?
Well, there's no one after us, so it's up to you.
Yeah, there is.
Who?
Dan's Fish and No,
they were even talking about it in here. Said that he's not streaming tonight.
And Primetime Aquatics.
Oh, I don't know about him, but yeah, hey, it's I'm good with whatever.
I wonder why Dan didn't go on.
I don't know. It could be like weather or something. You got your phone. Yeah, check and see.
I probably look funny while I'm looking through all this stuff, but I don't care. Dum, 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 dum. Man, all this random stuff. Drum videos and I guess I watch drum videos. I gotta look it up. Just look it up, Jerry.
All right, there you go, Fishbrella. It says stream is good. Keep it rolling. Rolling, rawhide. Does that show my age when I sing rawhide? Rawhide.
No stream tonight. Sorry, but I got a cough that won't quit. Okay. But I know prime time's going on. They always do.
Prime Time's live. Main tail furs and fins is live. See, don't nobody care. Everybody just doing a pop-up. They don't care. Everybody just does what they want.
Houston, we have a problem. If I keep watching these two shrimp brothers, I'm into the shrimp world. Yes, you are. It's official. You said it. You said it on the interweb, so it is now official.
Fishbrella says, I have questions. I'm sure the crowd does too. So, like, do both of you use the same mineral? No. Not right now. But the thing
Aquaballs is live, and Aquaballs is giving away some stuff.
Oh, Aquaballs is live. See, he's just a pop-up too, but
no, he said it earlier that he was going to give away some Coridoras.
Oh, did he? I didn't see that.
Have to go all the way back to the top to see.
Balls is live. Well, no, hey, we can end it. Gosh, it's not like we don't come on during the week and stuff.
I know, and like we were on your channel Sunday night. That was pretty fun.
Yeah. And who doesn't want to see Aquaballs?
And
I mean, not for nothing.
and
Terry is live. See, now we got way off in the back 40. Woo! Crazy if you want to go get crazy. And then if you want to talk fish and be calm.
All right. Well, we'll let everybody go disperse. And, I got to get some
I'm just glad everybody came to hang out.
Yep. And so we'll see you again next time. Thanks for helping us decide which moss is best for shrimp. And it's whichever you like.
Hey, and your opinions matter. Your opinions matter. But see, the thing is if you have a comment, leave it down below and tell us which one you think is the best and why.
Yeah.
I mean, even if it doesn't have to do with the shrimp, why you think it's best, why it works in your water, how it grows.
Yeah, that would be helpful.
The light, that's the big thing. Does your moss need a lot of light? Like Subwassertang, it can grow just in light coming through the window. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that people don't know about this. They don't know about mosses. That's why some people, they're like, oh, it's full of algae. I don't know how to do it. It keeps dying. So everyone's input is very important when it comes to this.
Yep. Awesome.
It's just Papa Shrimp put it on just to get people's thoughts. So please leave comments so we can go further with this.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you to all my mods. Thanks for being engaged with us and having a good time and keeping it shrimple. We'll see you again next time. Peace.
Bye.
End broadcast.